Hello. Okay, I'm gonna get water real quick because someone got shot in a Wendy's. Well, hello everyone to round three of season six here in group two. Originally, original plan was for this round three, to be Canada, but unfortunately, due to yesterday's race in Group 1, for those who did end up watching that, uh, very chaotic in terms of, yeah, just very chaotic, that's all I'm gonna say. But, this weekend's alternative is ending up to be Portimao, which is a track that, not very much seen on league racing calendars in more recent times. Ever since this track has been added as DLC, pretty much since F1 2021, I believe. No, F1 20. It's either F1 2020 or 21. Correct me if I'm wrong, but let's go ahead and go for a quick hot lap here. Riding on board with all shredding, hoping to set the benchmark for everyone. For the benchmark. So braking at the 100 meter board, going down to 6th gear. Careful on that exit. If you run too wide there, you can't invalidate your lap exiting turn 1. So going down in 2nd gear, up into 3rd. Careful on that throttle, especially through that uphill left-hander. Now going down to the hairpin, braking at that 100 meter board. Going down to 2nd. Try and get that rotation, short shifting up into 3rd. Coming out. Now in the middle of sector 2. Probably one of the most, I don't know, meme corners here at Portimao, where you get the ironic jump. But now high and low elevation changes going through this section here to a downhill right-hander, back to an uphill left-hander, of hoping to use that curb on that right there, going down to 3rd gear. Now exiting this corner where you really do need a really good exit here, as the rest of this track exiting out of that final corner is just a straight. Now coming across the line, 17.401 by R Strading. So benchmark is a 1 minute 17.410401. I mean, Red Sniper Eye 17.633. Husky 1 minute 18.475. Fusible Orange 17.813. Waits 19.0. Darren Leclerc a 20.2. Vindosh 17.462. So 61 hundredths of a second separating our shredding and Vindosh. Our pole sitter from the Japanese Grand Prix. Fusible Bono 17.6. Ozan 17.882. Malk 17.996. Viprise 17.422. So 21 hundredths of a second separating our shredding and Viprise. Malk 17.996. Dan the Tank making his debut here this weekend. An 18.0. The coach 18.063. Let's go ahead and follow along with Vacant here. See what lap time he can produce here. here at Algarve International Circuit here in Portugal. Now heading towards probably one of the most dynamic elevation changes in the F1 game. Now getting a little bit of a snap there, exiting Sector 2. But managing to keep the car stable. Now going into the penultimate corner where you really need that crucial exit. As the rest of this track is purely just a straight line. Now approaching the line. As he does end up abandoning his lap. So not a very good lap from Vacant. Speedy now, now approaching the line. Let's go to see what time he can do. Coming across the line, a 18.460. So, as we have a Ferrari stranded there. It looks like it's Jimbo who was on his lap. Actually, no, that's Ricky, a Group 1 reserve. But following along with the sister Ferrari, currently in Sector 1, about to catch up to Ricky here in this hairpin. The Haas of Speedy, it looks like, currently gonna rejoin ahead of Jimbo. So, upcoming traffic for Jimbo here in Sector 2. Now approaching Sector 3, as Speed does end up moving out of the way for Jimbo. Jimbo, a purple Sector 2, 52.901. So a potential top 5 time, potentially, by Jimbo, signifying just being applied just from that purple Sector 2, potentially. Now approaching the line. And he abandons his lap, so potentially did not get that Sector 1 time he desired, but as you just saw there, Speedy just flying into the pit lane. Alexis, a 17.947, putting himself P8. But his teammate Viper is currently sitting on the front row alongside all stranding, 17.422. As Bono will end up coming out. As let me go take a quick break here. Apologies for that. Mount looks like he just improved to a 17.723. Vaking looks like he said a lap time of 17.837. looks like Waits has improved his time from 19.0 to 18.1, so 9/10 improvement by Waits in that McLaren. Let's see if anyone's on the lap. Ozan 17.278. So Ozan and Vindosh crossed the line behind him, but not enough to beat Ozan for that provisional pole. But relatively close, these two. See this gap here. 0.06 of a second separating Ozan and Vindosh. Really good lap times from those two. It looks like Dan Natane 17.674, so improving. Head of Bono. Let's go ahead and follow along with Bono here. Now about to come across the line, says a 17.472. So really on it today, Bono. As looks like we have a spinner there in Sector 2. Darren Leclerc. Stranded there. Looks like Speedy's currently improving, a 52.266 coming out of Sector 2. Coming across the line, says a 17.827. So, putting himself P11. Really good stuff for Speedy here. Reserving in that hat seat. See if anyone else is on the lap. Alexa looks like he's on the lap. Purple Sector 2, 52.182. So going into Sector 3, hoping to carry all that time gained in Sector 2 to hopefully take it through into Sector 3. Now exiting that final corner. Now about to come across the line. Let's see what time he will set. 17.251. So let's see that gap. Nearly a quarter, slightly over a quarter of a tenth. A gap between himself and Ozan. So a double Mercedes power unit. So it's a Mercedes power unit 1-2 provisionally in qualifying here in quali. As everyone's in the pit lane. Besides Malk, who's now decided to come out for what I believe is his second or third run. As it looks like Viprise has left the session, but Malk currently up on his time. Hoping to improve here. Yellow flag sector 2, it looks like it is one of the McLarens. Looks like the coach here. Now coming out of Sector 3, hopefully. As he improved to 17.251.4, I mean. So currently 3 thousandths of a second separating Malk and Ozan and Alexis. So really tight field spread here. Everyone in the 17s from P1 all the way down to P15. So everyone now starting to come out for their final runs here. Following along with Bono here in Sector 1 here. 6 seconds down, so not looking too good. I don't believe that's correct. I don't believe so. But, wait, 17.172. Let's see if anyone can match weights here. Absolutely flying here at Algrave International Circuits. Probably one of the most dramatic elevation changing circuits here besides Circuit of the Americas in Sector 2. But, let's see if Bono, yeah, he's 6 seconds off. Potentially lining up for this to be his run. Fusible Orange, 60.940. So our first driver into the 16s. See if maybe Red Sniper Eye can maybe potentially improve. Our strength 17.207. Red Sniper looks like he's already brought out his best in his car. See if Alexis can potentially improve here. Absolutely flying as we have a flying Haas there. It looks like he was speeding. Alexis spinning. Had a purple sector too. So Alexis has missed the chance at potentially starting on the front row potentially. Only up by a couple thousandths of a second. Viprise currently improving here. Setting that purple sector to a 51.9. So potentially Viprise to take that pole position away from Fusible Orange. As now approaching these final couple of corners. Let's go ahead and see what time Viprise could potentially put up here. As Viprise 17-0, but not enough for provisional pole. So Fusible Orange taking his first pole position here in LSR. So congratulations to Fusible Orange to the first Red Bull pole position, I believe, this season. as our pole time, Fusible Orange, his first pole position here in LSR Group 2 with a 16.940. So congratulations to Fusible Orange for his first pole position. Alongside him is Viprise with a 17.0 in that Mercedes, so hopefully Mercedes can pull out a really good performance starting relatively well here at the Portuguese Grand Prix. But behind Viprise is Wait and R Striding in the McLaren and the Alfa Romeos respectively. So potentially looking like to be an interesting race. As we're not just waiting on the tire, not the tires, the drivers. As we're now about to begin the formation lap here. I'll just leave the grid to make its way there. As now all majority of the field is now approaching the grid now as Jimbo is sitting there as he has been disqualified. As we're now waiting for everyone to line up on the grid as Husky back there, or is that vacant? I have no clue. Just doing some donuts. As we're now, we get the green flag waving back there in the background. The Fireflies has lagged out. as it is 5 red lights, hoping to, as we're now waiting, and it is lights out and away we go here for the Portuguese Grand Prix here in LSR Group 2. Feasible Orange getting a good start. Waits looking for the move on Viprise and getting that move done. So really good stuff from Waits already capitalizing on Viprice's disconnect. But Waits already taking the lead of the Portuguese Grand Prix, going to run the outside. As R Shredding wanted to take advantage of Viprice's disconnect as well. Majority of these drivers are taking advantage of it. Not looking too good for Viprice, as he has not returned. But it looks like we have someone did end up getting wing damage there. And it looks like it is Alexis. So even more tragedy for the Mercedes crew. First, we have a driver disconnect, and now Alexis with front wing end plate damage. Viprice does end up returning, but has a lot of work to do to regain those positions back. As Malcolm wanting to go run the outside, and yes, he does, making the move stick. And it looks like R Shreddy has made a move on Fusible Orange, so R Shreddy looking very good on pace here already from the get-go on lap 1. Looking on tires now, only one driver on the hard tires, while the top 4 are on the mediums, and top 4 P8, P9, 12 and 13 all on mediums, with Ricky, Alexis, and Jimbo all on the hard tires, while everyone else is on those soft compounded tires, which from personal experience, they don't last that long. They only last 1/3 of the race here at Portimao, especially with it being such a high degradation track, with those high G-force corners, plus with the high elevation changes. So having those softs are really gonna have to wear out, really will wear out relatively quickly. So more than likely, it will be a medium to soft race, but potentially you could go hards to mediums. As we have an incident back there, it looks like Husky has spun it already on lap 2. Really unfortunate for Husky, but Waits out here dominating already, nearly a 2-second gap, now actual 2-second gap, to R Shredding behind. So really good stuff from Waits, already capitalizing on Viprice's disconnect. Plus making a move around the outside of Fusible Orange. Speaking of Fusible Orange, looks like he spun and hit the wall and now has front wing damage. And that is a VSC. So really unfortunate for Fusible Orange, who started today with his first pole position. Now sitting down in P15, so really unfortunate for him today. Especially with him being the sole Red Bull here in round 3 here at the Portuguese Grand Prix. As we go back to Green Flag Racing, Malcolm getting a drive-through under VSC. Looks like Ricky as well did end up getting a drive-through as well. So that gap did end up getting reduced as Ozan does make the move. As look like our debutant today, Dan had. Looks like he's spun and coming out of the exit out of turn 1. So not looking too good for Dan today on his debut. We have a big fight here. It looks like a 5-way fight here for these final points position, as looks like coach getting setting someone a little bit too wide out there. Now with vacant, currently with vacant now 8/10 away from Kendricks on those soft tires, which I will say those soft tires starting on them's quite a risk, I must say. They'd really have to capitalize on using those soft compound tires early on. But they're just currently just fighting each other, which is and creating just a DRS straight, so not looking too good. Bono getting to a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So really good stuff. Actually, not good stuff, I mean. My bad. As, it looks like Vacant locked up there a little bit. When the Alpha Tires Vindosh going a little bit out wide. They're exiting that hairpin there in Sector 2. Only 5 laps in already. And we're having some good action today already here at the Portuguese Grand Prix. As we're now just waiting. Hopefully see some action there. Looks like the two Ferraris back there looks like to be fighting. Right on board with Ricky here. Ferrari's not doing so well here at Portugal compared to their performance at the Las Vegas Grand Prix. So not looking too good for the Scuderia. Looks like Ozan has lost the position to Kendricks. So Kendricks up into P5, Ozan down into P6. So the soft compound tires, I believe, are now starting to wear out now, actually. So those soft tire runners, I don't think will be able to catch up to those medium tire runners anytime past the lap. I'd say lap 8, I think. I'd say, honestly. So anything past lap 8, those soft tire runners will not catch the medium tire runners, i.e. the top 3. But now Kendrick just currently chasing down Viperize here. Kendrick's just trying to chase down Viperize for P4. And hopefully, maybe, as we have a bit of a lag spike, as that's Bono, who has spun on those hard compound tires, who looks like he did end up pitting last lap, as Viperize does end up lagging out again. So, if Kendricks can take advantage of this and get past Viperize before he does come back, then free positions essentially for Kendricks. And Kendrick just managing to get the move done right before he comes back, as looks like we do have an AlphaTauri off there. Looks like we Darren Leclerc sitting P14 at the moment on those 6-lap old soft compound tires. But race leaders Waits currently on 6-lap old medium tires, looking very good pace wise, 2.3 seconds. As Viperize does end up lagging out again, and I don't know what's going over top. I have no clue. But anyways, is not taking over his car just yet. See if maybe he'll take over his car, maybe in this on this mini straight here onto the hairpin. See if maybe Speedy can overtake Vipers maybe. As there's a lockup there from Vacant. So potentially Vacant already starting to struggle on those medium compounded tires. As Speedy really closing down and sending it up the inside. Speedy not making the move stick, but showing that he can battle for position. And hoping to challenge Viprice for position here for P8. As up ahead, we do have potentially a three-way battle brewing here between Kendricks, Ozan, and Vindosh. And maybe Vacant can get involved in this if he can close that gap down. Those 7/10 now, separating himself from Vindosh. As it looks like Vindosh had a little bit of a slide there mid corner, so maybe some rear instability there for Vindosh. Potentially hinting to a lower downforce setup. As Darren Leclerc gets a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. But I will take a quick break here, and I will be back right after this quick break. Apologies about that. So now, currently looking at the current race order, as it looks like Ozan will come in to take his pit stop, his first pit stop of, of the race here at the Portuguese Grand Prix. Excuse me. Waits currently still leading here at the Portuguese Grand Prix, followed by R Striding close behind 2.1 seconds here, separating those two. As now we head on to lap 12 here at the Portuguese Grand Prix here in Portugal. Really big gap separating these drivers, but the bigger gap here is Kendrick's to Red Sniper Eye at 5.4 seconds, P4 and P3, but close behind of Kendrick's Vindosh, 4 tenths back on those same soft compound of tires. And we do have a yellow flag here, as a only temporary yellow flag, but looks like Coach and Viprise and potentially Dan looking to get himself into this fight for P4 maybe. But now it's just currently a fight for no, for P6 I mean, not P4, P6. Let's see if anyone does end up deciding to come into pit here from this group. No one, so everyone's still continuing. Still continuing on those mediums or soft compound tires here. Potentially by the end of their stint, it looks like Viper is sending it up the inside of the coach and gets the move done. Good stuff from Viprise to put himself into P8. Now having to chase down Speedy and sending it up the inside again. So Viprise making those moves, but Speedy coming back and defending his position. So tight-knit battle here, potentially for P7 here between Speedy and Viprise. Maybe allowing Vindosh to run away and maybe and not even have to defend his position. Alexa's getting a 3-second time penalty. Let's go and take a look at these penalties now. Actually, oh, wrong one. Penalties. Okay, Vacant, Speedy, Alexis, Jimbo, Bono, and Darren Leclerc all have penalties, varying from 3 seconds to 8 seconds. Biggest mover right now is Kendrick's from 19th on the grid to P4 as Dan gets his 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Fusible Orange getting a 3-second time penalty for track limits. The Viprise has lagged out again. So not looking too good for Viprise here with connection issues spanning throughout the race. Waits with a comfortable lead here. Waits currently with a very comfortable lead of 2.5 seconds to R Shredding. Viprise still having connection issues. Looks like Kendricks and Vindosh have all decided to come into the pit lane. Viprice's AI, the coach Malk have all decided, pretty much all the soft tire runners have decided to come into the pit lane to put on, it looks like, the medium compound of tires to potentially take him to the end of the race. Which yeah, it looks like they'll make it to the end of the race actually. Thing is, they'll have very, very high tire wear from personal experience. So they have very high tire wear. That is the only thing that has to stay very strong pace. As Vipra is lagging out again. So Vipra is potentially might not even get points here today. If the connections issues still continue for him. As it looks like our shredding has now decided to come into the pit lane. With those 15 lap old medium compound of tires, putting on the hards. Wanting to compromise near the end of the race. But he does end up coming out P5, so if these two do end up, actually, let's see that gap to leader. At the moment, if Wait and Sniper Eye, Speedy and Vacate all come into the pit lane, they'll all end up overcutting our striding. So everyone needs to come into the pit lane here. Because it looks like none of them end up coming to the pit lane. Actually, potentially Waits does end up coming into the pit lane. Sniper Eye ends up coming into the pit lane. Let's see Vacant and Speedy come into the pit lane. But I don't think Speedy will be able to get that overcut maybe. But Vacant continuing, so Vacant now takes the lead of the Portuguese Grand Prix here. But Speedy also as well. Looks like they didn't get the cut that they wanted to. So Speedy now is currently sitting in a P2 on lap 17. But now Waits and R Shredding both fighting now for the final podium position. Going wheel to wheel into this hairpin. Waits keeping the outside line. Still wanting to fight for that position. But ends up letting our shredding go. So hoping for Waits playing the smart game there and letting our shredding through to hopefully have our shredding drag him to the leaders. As our shredding does send it up the inside of Speedy here. Thing is, will Waits be able to follow through? Yes, he will, making the move around the outside there. Really good stuff from Waits here. And Speedy still has not come into the pit lane. So not looking too good for Speedy in terms of tire wear. And potentially we may get some lapped cars here before the end of the race. As Vacant currently just exited the hairpin. While Darren Leclerc and now barely exiting sector 2. As now looks like those three have started to calm down now. See, there's a group behind here as we have a wheel-to-wheel moment here. Husky now fighting for P9 here against Vindosh. But back here, a three-way fight for P11, 12, and 13. No, it looks like 12, 13, and 14, I mean. My bad. And Viper is wanting to make the move on the coach, but it still doesn't have that space though. He will have to end up coming back through the rest of the field to hope for a good result, sending it up the inside of the coach. Will he hold that outside line? And yes, he will. As the coach, looks like there was a small amount of contact there. Alexis, 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And we have a Ferrari there that just got straight on. See if maybe we can get a glimpse of that. We have a stranded Ferrari there, but not enough for a safety car. Most likely did end up sending DNFing next to a safe a marshal post. So maybe that's why there wasn't a safety car. But Alexis really did gamble position hoping for that safety car. But that did not work out in his favor. Now down at P15. So the two Mercedes who originally started in a decent position, now both out of the points here. But also, when will Vacant and Speedy come into the pit lane? As Waits and are shredding behind, closing that gap, 3.2 seconds now. When will they close that gap? That is the question here. And when will Vacant pit? Potentially trying to hold off for those soft compound of tires, maybe. In these final couple of laps to potentially try and gain those position back, sacrificing track position. As it looks like, yeah, we've already had a first lap car as Vacant not getting that traction, but ends up losing that traction and sacrifices his P1. And now will he end up going to the pit lane? Yes, he will. I believe that was a puncture. Potentially that may have been a puncture, as he did end up just spin in the opposite direction. Potentially, but I have no idea. Could have been a puncture or just could have been a spin. Either or, really unfortunate for Vacant, who's really having some good pace. As I was correct, he will go onto the soft compound of tires. Both Speedy and Vacant, both going onto the soft compound of tire. And now, sending P10 and 12. See if those two can make back those positions with these final 12 laps. And we do have a yellow flag, and that is a safety car. So our first safety car here of the Portuguese Grand Prix. So really good timing for Vacant and Speedy to come into the pits. As our shredding does end up getting ahead of Waits here in the pit lane. As Darren Clare does have a drive-through. Are shredding on those soft top-out tires. But Speedy now coming up near front of the field, actually. From P12 all the way up into P4. So So pitting before the safety car, really smart decision uh from Speedy and Vacant. But Vacant has come into the pit lane again. As that is our second DNF here today, here in the Portuguese Grand Prix. As while everyone's catching up, I will take another quick break. Apologies for all these breaks here. I am slightly ill with allergies, so we'll take a quick break here. I'll come back before the safety car restart. As I don't know if you just saw that, but safety car will be in this lap. So now the field is in control of our Stratting, who did end up making a pit lane entry overtake. Currently being reviewed by the LSR admin at the moment. See if it's legal. But I believe it is. As our Stratting has decided to go here to restart the race on lap 25 of the Portuguese Grand Prix with only 8 laps remaining here. Waits wanting to make a move up on the inside of Red Sniper Eye and making that move done, but Sniper Eye attempting to come back to regain the position, but unable to regain it. Potentially a move waiting to happen into the hairpin. Looking at everyone approaching the hairpin. There's a move, looks like, by Feasible Orange there. On Viprise. No, it's, yeah, Viprise making a move on Feasible Orange. As looking towards the front of the field, our Stratting currently with a comfortable lead at the moment. 5/10 on those soft compound of tires. Bono with a 3-second time penalty. So Bono's still in this race at the moment. As our Stratting currently still holding back weight. Small amount of contact there. Hopefully not enough for weights to get damaged there on his McLaren. But potentially looking like our Stratting potentially may be our race winner today, as Darren Leclerc does end up spinning there at the hairpin, but does end up getting to get going again. And we have a lot of penalties there now. Let's go ahead and take a look at the penalties. Yellow flag. It looks like Bono has spun it. Penalties wise, Ozan 3 seconds. Speedy 6 seconds. Kendrick's Malcolm 3 seconds. Vacant with 3 seconds. Alexa with 3 seconds. Bono with 6 seconds. Fusible Orange with 6 seconds, and Darren Leclerc with 3. But it looks like it'd be a 3-way fight back here for P5 and 6 between Kendricks and the rest of them here, spanning from Speedy all the way down to Husky here in P9 there. As nearly going 3 wide exiting that corner there. And Kendricks making some contact there with Speedy, hindering each other. So potential argument there, nearly putting Kendricks out of the points. So potentially some heated discussion potentially gonna happen after the race here today, here in Group 2. Husky getting 3-second time penalty, so that's 9 seconds, I believe, for him. As there's a yellow flag, Feasible Orange has decided to retire. As Alexis has retired, and that is a safety car. So, and it looks like Vindo did end up getting reset there, as everyone now scrambling into the pit lane for those soft compound tires. So now everyone's scrambling into the pit lane for those soft compound tires for these final couple laps here at the Portuguese Grand Prix. Very, very entertaining, entertaining race here. As Ricky, actually, someone who's been at the back now for quite a while now, up into P4 now, actually. As now, for these final couple laps, we might have 1 or 2 racing laps, I believe. If Darren could catch up relatively quickly. But Viperice, Vacant, and Ricky. As you are correct, Ferret. Those on those 7-lap old soft compound of tires already have their tires warmed up. Plus, you already have the grip. So, while everyone else from P5 all the way down to P12 and Bono down in P14, all of them will still have to warm up their tires. On that first lap, we do end up getting back to green flag racing. But ultimately, they will have the better grip overall. But Red Sniper Eye will be probably the one singular driver who probably have to work the hardest. Just due to him still being on those 8-lap old medium tires. Plus, you have a driver with 8-lap olds, same age, pretty much tires around the same age, but better tires. And also you have pretty much more, if not the rest of the entire field, on better tires compared to you. So, a really big challenge for Red Sniper Eye to see if he can hold on to this lead. But I believe we will get back to green flag racing this lap, I believe so. Potentially. I have no clue. But I don't believe so, no. You are right, Ferret. If Viper does end up getting past Red Sniper, then if Red Sniper can pretty much hold off everyone else while Viperize builds that gap, then potential comeback for Mercedes. So really tight race now, looking in these final couple of laps here. If Darren can catch up this lap, then we will get back to green flag racing at the end of this lap potentially. So ultimately, just really just depends on if Darren can catch up ASAP. As oh, it looks like Darren did end up retire. So now just waiting on Darren's AI as he did retire. As safety car will come in this lap anyways. So not waiting on Darren. So now Red Sniper currently now just gonna try and hold off the rest of pretty much the entire field on the soft compound of tires, hoping to get this race win. As Malcolm does get a 5-second time penalty for a severe collision with Speedy. And he will not go quite yet, trying to slow everyone up. As he does now decides to go. So now let's go ahead and see this gap, if I can, Christ, if I can figure it out. Red Sniper still leading off as Vacant up into the podium positions here, overtaking Ricky in that Ferrari, but close behind is R Shredding right in on board, sending it up the inside of Ricky. Small amount of contact there, and Ricky getting a little bit tangled up there and doesn't get that exit, and Ozan takes advantage to get past, and Waits as well also takes advantage to get past. So Waits not being patient and getting right on, wanting to make every single move count, especially on this penultimate lap. As Waits gets tapped behind from Ozan. Big incident. Looks like someone did get wing damage, but Red Sniper still holding off. Still holding off Viperize, but right on board on the now on the final lap here. Let's go right on board Viperize here. See if maybe he could catch up to Red Sniper here for the race victory, as none of these two have penalties now. Now it's purely just up to skill and tire wear. Yellow flag. Looks like Speedy has been spun on the final lap. He was running really well early on in the race, and it looks like Husky has also been spun as well. But Viperize inching closer and closer to Red Sniper, wanting to make the move. Almost nothing separating these two. Are striding now in this three-way fight for the lead. Viperize attempting to send it up the inside, doesn't make the move stick. Close behind, waiting for this straight here. Now using all of the ERS that both of these two have at their disposal. Now coming to the line. Looks like Red Sniper will win the Portuguese Grand Prix, managing to hold off Viperize and are shredding both, managing to keep their positions. Really good job from Red Sniper to hold off Viperize in that final sector. really close finish between the top three, each of them within a tenth of each other. As Red Sniper Eye does claim his first win here in LSR, Viper Eyes does end up retaining his position, coming from disconnection issues all the way back up from last, all the way up into P2. But that is it from me, everyone. Really, really great pleasure to commentate here, but we'll be racing Group 3 potentially. I don't know. Anyways, that is it from me. Hope to see everyone here back next week at Circuit des Spa-Francorchamps here for round 4 of LSR Group 2 here in Season 6. Hasta la vista, boys.